Welcome to episode 2 of the Professionally Casual podcast. Today, we're just going to have a little bit of anime discussion. I got two animes that I want to talk about. The first one's going to be Go Go Ranger. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but it's a fairly new anime. I think it definitely came out 2024. I'm not really sure. I haven't checked what specific month came out or when it finished, but it definitely came out this year and it's fairly new. And right off the bat, I think it's a really solid anime. And I'd like to clarify that I'm not a critique at all, bro. Like, I'm just kind of talking out of my ass. Just, talking about shit I like to talk about. And that's anime. I like anime. I want to talk about it. And Go Go Loser Ranger is what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called in the English translation. If you don't know, it's about... Let me see if I can find the quick summary. A foot soldier sets out to infiltrate and take down a group of warriors known as the Dragon Keepers. And one thing to note about this specific anime is that it's like the Dragon Keepers are Power Rangers. They're basically just Power Rangers, right? You know the Power Rangers. You love them, you hate them, but you know about them no matter what. They're Power Rangers, and the foot soldier is just, like it says, it's a foot soldier. He's a random ass dude. But the twist about this that I really think is amazing of the Power Ranger concept is the Power Rangers are actually not good guys. Like they're in the public eye, they're seen as good people. But the thing is that there really is no threat, right? Like the foot soldiers are basically slaves to the Dragon Keepers, and they're just trying to keep up their image as protectors of, the world and protectors of, Tokyo, which is where it takes place. Well, I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm being racist. But there is no threat, right? The foot soldiers, the main bosses, they call them boss monsters. They all have been defeated, right? So there's no threat of monsters taking over because all that's left is foot soldiers, and they really have no power whatsoever, right? All they can do is regenerate and mimic. That's basically their powers, right? And they don't die at all, right? So they can just keep killing them over and over and basically saying, hey guys, look, we saved the day, but really there's nothing going on. The Rangers are just keeping up this image for the fame and the money and all that. So that's the main thing, right? And I think that's a great concept because also this anime takes place, it doesn't take place, but it takes the perspective. We're in the perspective of the villain, right? Of the foot soldier who has gone 13 years just basically being enslaved and under the control of the Rangers, because they're just kind of doing whatever they say, right? Like the Rangers basically gave them a proposition: it's either you die with your boss monsters or you do whatever we say, right? And I think it's great that it takes we have the point of view of the villain, right? And but the thing is, he's like kind of like an anti-villain, right? Because in the story, he wants to set out and basically destroy the Dragon Keepers because him and his foot soldiers have been under the corrupt control of the Dragon Keepers, right? And he's like, I'm tired of this. I want to beat these guys, right? But as we said earlier, they have little to no power. So in order to do that, he has to infiltrate because in the show, they have like these lower ranks, right? The Rangers are the top of the top, and then they have like, lower people like junior ranks. That's what they're called, junior ranks. And then that's like first junior rank. And then there's second senior rank, second junior rank, third junior rank. So, there's basically levels to how you become a Ranger, right? You have to climb through the charts, right? So he has to basically go in as a newbie, right? Like basically just try to be one of them and take them out within because, he has to focus on his, intellect and mimicry in order to destroy the Rangers because he does not have a lot of powers. And the Dragon Keepers are very powerful. That's what I like about them, that they made them so powerful to where it's like you're rooting for the bad guy essentially, right? Because the Dragon Keepers are so powerful that like you want to root for the underdog because he's the underdog, right? He has no powers. Like he's weak, incredibly weak compared to them, and I love it when they make and I love when animes do this when they give us the perspective of the bad guy, right? And then the good guys are actually the bad guys. Like a little switch, right? The good guys are the bad guys, but the bad guys are actually kind of good or whatever. So I like that because he's like an anti-villain, right? He's an anti-villain because, yeah, he wants to wants to achieve world domination, but it's like he also just wants to be free, right? Not into the control of the Dragon Keepers because they've been oppressed, or he and his fellow fighters or whatever, that's what they call them, the fighters, have been oppressed. And I think that's great, and I think this anime does what they do really well as well is they have a bunch of side characters and they're all very, very interesting. I like the side characters in this anime because usually, the side characters obviously in most animes are so, right? Sometimes you have some that you love and sometimes you have those some that you don't even care about. But these, they made it very interesting because there's a bunch of different side characters, and in the show they some of them decide to help, Fighter D, that's the main character's name, achieve his goal of taking down the Rangers. But here is how they have their own goals, right? So it's not just, oh yeah, I'm gonna help you because I want to help you. No, it's I want to help you because this is gonna benefit my goal, and I think that's great, right? It makes the side characters way more interesting and way more complex because they're not just kind of there. They're there to serve a purpose, to serve a purpose in the story, and I think that's great. I think that's really great. And the one thing that's about this show is it's like I said, it came out this year, but the animation is not that good if we're being honest, right? It's very, very mediocre. But the thing is that it kind of works for this show because it doesn't rely on the animation. There are like some fight scenes that are really, really well animated, and I think that's where the main budget went. And then like the other stuff is just mediocre at best. But like I said, it's mainly about the story. I think the story is really great. I love the twist, like I said, and that's why I don't mind the animation being kind of iffy at times, just because the story is really great, is really good. I mean, and I hate when an anime relies so much on its animation, right? Like you see it online all the time, where it's like, well, you don't see it online all the time, but like an anime is not good because the animation is spectacular, right? Like it's good for the story and the animation, right? Like we see it, you saw it in Naruto, right? It has some amazing fight scenes, but yet the story is so amazing. Same thing with Attack on Titan. Same thing with My Hero. Same thing with Demon Slayer. All the great animes have a combination of both, which is great story and great animation. And this anime, I think, has a great story, but the animation is just not there, right? But it doesn't really matter too much because there's some fighting for sure, but it's not a lot to where you're constantly seeing just mediocre animation on the screen. Most of the time it's just talking or dialogue or running and all that. So, it's fine. It doesn't really upset me too much, so that's fine. There's just that one thing. That's the one thing I will say about this anime. The animation's not that good, but yeah, I don't really know if it's getting a season 2. I haven't checked, but it'd be cool if it did, right? Because like I said, the story's interesting. But if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't, just because I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it. It kind of went under the rug. I thought the concept was really great, but I think, not a lot of people watched it, and, maybe some people just didn't really enjoy it. I can definitely see it being not for some people and, some people appealing to it, but, either way, it could go both ways, right? But my final rating for Go Go Loser Ranger, I'm going to have to give it a very comfortable 7. I think it's great. Like I said, the story was really good. The characters are really interesting. I love the concept and the twist on the Power Rangers, like how they made them, bad guys. I think that's really, really good. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about, at least for Go Go Loser Ranger. And now I want to move on, and I want to talk about Kaiju Number 8. If you don't know, this is an anime, and the synopsis or summary is like, in this world where kaiju monsters are coming out and, basically destroying cities, all that, the main character wants to join the defense force, which is like, basically the military against the kaijus. And, he ends up getting the kaiju powers, right? Which is never seen before, right? Like, no one has kaiju powers. They just try to defeat the kaijus, right? And this anime, coming into it, I saw the hype around the manga, right? Everyone's like, "Ooh, Kaiju Number 8, amazing manga." And I almost fell into the hype. Well, I didn't almost fall into it, as in I almost bought the manga itself. And I don't read manga, like, at all, right? Like, I don't even read them. I don't buy them. I just kind of watch the anime, and that's it. Maybe that's on my part. Maybe I should. But regardless, right? Everyone's like, the manga is really, really good. Kaiju Number 8, really good manga, right? And I almost folded because I saw it at my local Walmart. I saw the first chapter, and I was like, shit, should I get it? Like, I saw the hype, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't. I didn't fold. And, I seen the manga and the hype around it. And then, excuse me, I heard that it was getting an anime adaptation. I was super excited. I was actually really excited because, I read the summary, right? The summary, kaijus, dude gets kaiju powers. Shit sounded cool as hell to me. I'm like, yo, that sounds dope, right? It's kind of like a Attack on Titan type shit. You know what I'm saying? The main character gets the power of the main antagonist, which is the kaijus, right? So I was like, that sounds cool as shit. And I was happy it got an anime adaptation. And then I ended up watching it, right? I finished it not too long ago. Finished it a couple months ago as of this recording. And I really, really liked it, right? Like, I genuinely liked it. Like, I was very, very, very intrigued, right? Like, first episode, I was hooked. I'm like, holy shit, right? Like, nowadays, I watch anime, but, for me, it's kind of hard to get into an anime unless it's really good. If it's like fine, like, I'll watch it. If it's okay, I'll watch it just because it's entertaining. But if it's really good to where the point where I have to watch an episode back to back to back to back. Because hey, the old me, I would throw down fucking 12 episode animes on the regular. I watch 3 of them things a day if I really wanted to. But, nowadays I watch like maybe 1 episode a day. Even, you know what I'm saying? Barely. So like this anime got me hooked, right? I watched 3 or 4 episodes the first day I fucking saw it. Because I'm like, damn, this anime is really good. And then the next day I finished it. I finished it in 2 days, which is, pretty good in my opinion, right? Because like I said, I barely watch 1 episode a day, right? So I finished it in 2 days because that's how good it was. And I was so amazed, right? The story is just so like, I wouldn't say intriguing, right? Because usually for me, a story is intriguing when it's very unique and like I've never, seen it been done before. And it wasn't unique, you know what I'm saying? Guy gets power from the enemy, right? Like I said, Attack on Titan, and it's definitely happened probably in other mangas or animes, so it's not new. But the way they did it was really well done. The main character, Kafka, that's his name. They made him like an older, he's like 32, I think, right, in the show. And I think that was really cool, right? Because most of the time, obviously, animes, motherfuckers are either 16 or fucking lower. For some reason, anime characters are always so young, right? And they're written by adults. So why the hell are we making the main character young as shit, right? Like, they're always 17 or in high school. But I appreciated that this dude was a little older, right? Just because it's like, hey, look at that, an older character. And, that's pretty cool. And the main thing that they did that I really liked is that they make you root for the character, right? Like, they made you actively want to see Kafka, the main character, succeed. Like, every episode, I was rooting for bro, you know what I'm saying? Because, and this is spoilers, if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. I highly recommend Kaiju Number 8. It's a really good story, great animation as well, and they haven't been, I don't think it's been announced for a season 2, but I'm praying it gets a season 2 just because it's so good. But the main character, Kafka, he's 32, he's old, right? His dream was to go into the Kaiju Defense Force, which is, like I said earlier, the people who basically fight back on the Kaiju, right? That was his dream. But year after year, he failed the exams, right? Because you need an exam to get in. He failed year after year, and now he's 32, right? He started when he was as young as he could to get in the program, and he's failed and failed and failed. And, you resonate with that, right? Because you want to see him succeed. Because in the point where you start off, he's already old, and then he meets this younger kid, right, in the same work, and he also wants to become a part of the Defense Force, and he's like, basically tells bro to be like, hey man, like, it's not too late, like, yes, you're old, but you got this, bro, like, go fight for your dream. And I think that's really cool because, like, it's basically saying, like, no matter how old you are, no matter what predicament you're in, you should fight for your dream, no matter what, right? And I thought it was really cool. And then it's funny. Like, the main character is so funny. Like, I think he's genuinely funny, and he's likable guy. He's charismatic. You kind of he's not like super OP or nonchalant like every other character. He's like super cool, and I like that. It makes me like the guy, and it makes me want to root for him. And I think that's what they did really well. Right, the main character is awesome, and the side characters are also really cool. Like, they're really good. Like, frick, I forgot his name. Tashikawa, the kid who basically, try to or helped the old guy Kafka, live a, basically chase his dream again, right? He's really cool. He's an interesting character. He's young, but he's like not the OP as hell, but he's also has so much potential. And then they have this other side character. I forgot her name, but she has yellow hair. She's also really powerful and cool, and she's like helps out the guy. And it all just comes together really well. And also the fight scenes are great. The fighting animations are cool as shit. And I love me some fight scenes, no matter what. But I think the story itself is really good, and the animation fight scenes add on to that even more, right? Like, I'm cool if the fight scene is cool, but if that's just it, like if the anime is just straight fighting and that's like the main meat, I get a little turned off, because like at that point, like just I might as well just watch the clips, right? Like, what's the point in watching the anime? But in Kaiju Number 8, they did it really well to where the story is also amazing, right? Like, even if they weren't fighting, I was still locked in because I thought the story was amazing. The story was great. And I really, really hope that they get a season 2. Like, I need to see more, right? And I'm not going to read the manga, keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to get more Kaiju Number 8, I have to wait for the anime to come out, or the second season, because I'm not reading no damn manga. Because I don't read. I'm stupid like that. But yeah, I think it's a great anime. Definitely check it out. And I forgot to mention as well that they did they made it to where, like, this dude, right, he's weak, right? Like I said, he failed the test multiple times, so he's weak as shit, right? He's like the lowest of the low, and they gave him this immense power that puts him way above his peers in the defense force. But yet, I think it's so well done that they don't use it. Like, he doesn't use his kaiju power unless he absolutely have to. And I think that's great, because even though he has this advantage over everyone, he still wants to succeed with his own, basically his own powers. Like not his own powers, but like his own person, not relying on the kaiju powers that were given to him, but by his own will, right? Like, he's basically like, hey, if I'm gonna become a officer or a defense force, part of the defense force, I'm gonna do it because I worked for it, not because I just got these powers out of nowhere. It's because I worked for it. And I think that was really good. It would suck, or it wouldn't suck, but it'd be, it'd be less cool if he got the powers and then, right away he's at the top of the game or whatever, and then, everyone knows that he's like the, best Jesus, I'm blanking. The best officer in the defense force or whatever. So I think that's really great. I think they did that really well. And shout out to all the writing for sure. I'm going to have to give Kaiju Number 8 a solid 8. Huh? Get it? Kaiju Number 8, 8. But yeah, no, this is an 8 out of 10, man. This anime is great. I'm definitely very excited for the future of this anime. Hopefully it gets a season 2, like I said. That's going to be it for the anime discussion. I definitely should watch more anime. I've been slacking lately, but I've been usually watching the 12 episode animes just because I feel like I can finish those, relatively quick, and, I can discuss about them. But, if you have any animes, comment them down below. I'm always open to anime suggestions. I don't really keep up with too many new releases. So if there's any new releases that you guys think I should watch, comment them down below and I'll be sure to check them out. Anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode.